Hey, Mr. here with a new weekly news bulletin that covers some of the YouTube and gaming related news that's happened over the last week, some of the larger stories, as well as other smaller but still cool stories. Anyway, having said that, let the news begin. First up is YouTuber named Edgar, or Ed as his viewers know him. He runs a channel called Tech Source. On his channel, he shows tech deals of the week, PC gaming builds, cheap tech for under XYZ dollars and so on. But the thing that really made his channel take off is his series called Setup Wars. He also does one called PC Wars. Now in the series, it's a series where people send in pictures of their PC setup, their gaming setup, whatever. He shows 5 setups per episode and the viewers judge which is the best. And the winner gets a $100 iTunes card. Now 8 months ago, he hit 500,000 subs. And just the other day, his channel hit 1 million subscribers and is already well over that. If you haven't seen his channel, do check it out. I find it quite entertaining. I try to watch every episode of the Setup Wars, at least anyway. I'll put a link to his channel down below in the description. Next up is a story about Humongous. Now, Humongous, his real name is Rudy Pantoja. He came to fame when a feminist asked him his name and he said Humongous. Now, Rudy is a very large man, humongous you could say, and he said it with a smile. Well, the woman who asked him absolutely lost her shit, going after him, screaming, yelling, accusing him of sexually harassing her, and she just basically wouldn't shut up. And, well, okay, trigger warning. Here's the video. See for yourself. Remember, just a trigger warning here, okay? See this for yourself.
I have a question. I'm actually against the bunker.
You take the right picture.
Yeah.
You want my name?
Yeah, sure.
It's Humongous.
Okay. Humongous what? Humongous what?
Humongous.
Humongous what?
Humongous.
Humongous what?
Humongous.
Humongous what?
That's what it is.
Humongous what? Is that sexual harassment?
No, it's humongous.
Then why did you say that to
That's
me?
my name.
What? Humongous what?
Humongous what?
Humongous what? Is that sexual harassment? Is that what you just did when you said that to me?
What, humongous?
Why would you say that to me?
Yes, but my name.
Why would you say that to me?
Why would I say it to
Why
you?
would you say that to me?
Why would you ask me my name?
What? Humongous what? Humongous what? Humongous what? Humongous what? This person just spoke to me in a sexually harassing
Oh,
way.
I did not.
Yeah, he did. He said, do you know what my name is? And I
said,
said,
"Do you
what?
want my
And he
name?"
said, humongous. Yeah. This person just sexually harassed me.
I said I'm humongous.
Yes, yeah, that's right. Humongous what?
Humongous.
So now you're actually pointing to yourself. You're actually pointing to your body parts, and you're actually pointing to your body parts and saying that you're humongous. You're actually doing that. And this is the person who just got interviewed as a pro-bunker person of color, as if you represent us. They're using you as a token, and then you speak to me in a sexually harassing manner. How dare you? How dare you? Disgusting! Disgusting!
You left the room saying your daughter's lives matter, but you
Disgusting! You just abused a woman! You just abused a woman, and you have the audacity! You have the audacity to say that girls matter? How dare you? How dare you? You disgusting person! Disgusting! Don't touch me! Don't touch me! Are you going to do anything about how he sexually harassed me? Are you going to do anything about how he sexually harassed me?
Okay, I'll stop it there. If you want to see the rest of her antics, check out the video in the full-length video in the link below. Now, after this video, she made a video accusing Rudy of violently sexually harassing her.
The man who sexually harassed me, he was hostile.
And then she started a You Caring fund for her well-being. So if you watched that video, you saw her saying, "This man violently sexually harassed me, now help fund me for my well-being." Now, after gladly accepting money from people she deemed as part of the sexist patriarchy, Ethan Klein from H3H3 Productions, who has done some great things for YouTubers who needed legal help and whatnot, and who has 2.6 million subscribers himself, started a You Caring for Rudy, who has some cancerous growth throughout his body and he can't really afford the medical treatment. Well, You Caring closed down his funding, citing it as too controversial, and also closed down the funding for the crazy feminist woman. So H3H3 started a GoFundMe instead and put in $1,000 of his own money. And now, at the time of this bulletin, 6 days after starting the GoFundMe, 11,000 odd people have contributed and raised over $140,000 for Rudy's medical treatments. Now, the links below are for H3H3's videos if you want to check those out. Now, next up we have is Tencent Holdings. They are the company who agreed to buy the Finnish game maker Supercell, and that's the company who makes, of course, Clash of Clans, Boom Beach, Heyday, and Clash Royale, and they agreed to buy them for $8.6 billion. Now, 6 weeks ago or so, they announced they expected the sale to be finalised on or around the 27th of October. Now, we've obviously gone way past that date with no word of a delay, so we have to assume it's all gone smoothly, as the consortium that they formed, which raised $850 million, plus the 23-member bank syndicate they put together, which was funding $3.5 billion in the deal, looked like they would have enough money when their own funds were also added into it. Anyway, in celebration of their 18th birthday, Tencent are giving each of their 31,557 employees 300 shares in the company. Now, those 300 shares are worth about 60,000 Hong Kong dollars, which equals about 7,700 US dollars. And overall, the birthday giveaway to their staff is worth around $220 million. Now, the other news from Tencent is that they have released a drone. You know, those small little like quad helicopter things that people use to take videos and photos. Well, Tencent's drone, it's called the Ying. It's able to stream its footage live to the WeChat system in China that Tencent also owns and which is currently used by around 800 million people. Now, the drone can capture video in 4K, but it can only stream to the WeChat system in 720 HD. So still HD, but 720. Now, this little drone, the Ying, it can fold up, weighs in at about 400 grams or something, and it's little, which I think is a little bit less than a pound. Now, when they announced it, they said it would be available beginning at the end of October, which is a couple of weeks ago, for around $300 US. Now, this looks to be a direct and substantially cheaper competitor to the DJI Mavic Pro, which can also record in 4K, and to GoPro's brand new Karma drone. Speaking of which, the GoPro drone, which was only released in October, has had some issues with power suddenly cutting out and the drones are falling out of the sky. Just imagine walking down the street, the drone just falls on your head, right? It's not good. So anyway, as a result, GoPro is recalling all of the Karma drones they've sold. Now, that's around 2,500 drones, and at $800 a pop for a drone, it's looking like a $2 million recall. And with the Christmas holiday season just around the corner, not having a drone available while the Mavic Pro and the Ying are at hand, that could cost GoPro dearly, as their shares dropped another 7.8% when they announced the recall and are now hovering around $10 a share. In other drone news, last month Sweden banned drone use in their country without a surveillance permit, as they deemed them to be flying spies. Now, you can use them if they're on your property and only capturing footage of things on your property. Otherwise, it is illegal surveillance. Now, even though dash cams, helmet cams, bicycle cams, and taking photos and videos of things in public with handheld devices okay, they are deemed okay because they are controlled locally by the user and not remotely from a distance. The new ruling means, unless there is a police surveillance reason for the drone, it's unlikely that the person is going to be granted a permit, and the permits start at €1,200 and go up depending on the weight of the drone and if it will be flown from out of sight of the pilot's line of sight. Journalists are not exempt from the new ruling and not really sure how it will affect sport show productions. Now, when you think in 2014, 20,000 drones were sold in Sweden, there are now a lot of very unhappy people, and there are claims from within the Swedish drone industry that the ruling will cost 5,000 jobs in drone and drone-related industry within Sweden. Now, the only positive for them, for the drone people, I don't know if you can even call it a positive, but it's kind of a positive, and that is that currently there's no way to police the drone use or to enforce the High Court's ruling. Now, speaking of Sweden, Next up is the game Battlerite, which is made by a Swedish game company called Stunlock Studios. Now, Battlerite is a MOBA style game, MOBA standing for Multiplayer Online Battle Arena. And it's a little bit different to most. Like the more famous MOBA style games are Dota, League of Legends, and the mobile version Vainglory. Those battles can take a long time to decide. With Battlerite, however, there is a timer. And if the battle hasn't been decided, the size of the arena starts shrinking and it forces the players into direct confrontation with each other, and thus the battle ends, with most of the battles being over within a couple of minutes. Now also, unlike other MOBA games which have these very large arenas where the entire screen can scroll off to one side or the other as players move through the landscape, Battlerite's arena is just about computer screen sized. So it's a good game, it's a good MOBA style game for people who suffer from video game motion sickness. Anyway, they've begun a tournament series called Battle Wrecked. The tournaments start on November 15. They are weekly tournaments with $10,000 up for grabs for each tournament and will go through until sometime in January. The tournaments will be 2 versus 2 and 3 versus 3 style and involve 256 teams. And they'll be streaming them live on Twitch. Now, at the moment, the game is $20 to buy on Steam, but the word directly from the developer is that when it goes out of beta, it will be free to play. For more information on the tournaments, where you can go to see them and so on, see the description below for the links. Next up is Activision/Blizzard, the company who makes Call of Duty, or COD as it's known. Now, if you've been living under a rock, they recently released the latest in the COD franchise called Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, which takes place in space. Now, prior to this, many fans had wanted the next COD to go back to boots on the ground fighting, less jetpacks and advanced movement. So you can imagine their disappointment when the Infinite Warfare trailer came out on YouTube and it showed that it was battles in space. The trailer got so much hate, it has 3.2 million dislikes on it, and I believe it's the second most disliked video on YouTube behind Justin Bieber's Baby that has 6.9 million dislikes on it, and has more dislikes than Rebecca Black's Friday with 2.3 million dislikes. Now, Activision Blizzard also makes a game called Overwatch, which is a first-person shooter style game. Now, they have announced that starting next year, that is 2017, they want to create a professional Overwatch league with various teams based in cities around the world. The players would be signed to the league through free agencies, be paid guaranteed salaries and receive other benefits, and there would also be feeder leagues designed to train players up for the pro level. They estimate that over the coming months, or they hope anyway, that teams will be putting in bids to be considered as founding teams in the league, and that those initial founding teams will end up having permanent places in the league. Now, they are hoping that the same sort of NBA owners, media owners, venture capitalists, and so on and so forth are those sorts of people who already or previously have invested into the League of Legends League Championship series might also be interested in investing into the Overwatch League and maybe having teams in the Overwatch League. Now, as a player, to be considered for the league at this stage, it's actually pretty straightforward and it's open to anyone. The idea is get the game, get online, play it, get good, get a rank. Then the good players in each city will be invited into the league to represent their city in one of the teams that is formed, like one team for each city. Now, for more information on that league and whatnot, again, see the description below for the link to their website. Now, you might be wondering, why do all these people want to get into this? Why they're creating leagues and so on and so forth? Well, the estimated viewership of esports for 2016 is 292 million. And that's heading to 500 million people in the next few years viewing esports. Now, with revenues of 400 million to over $1 billion in the next few years, esports is big business, and you can start to see why these companies want to get into it. Now, also, when you have 27 million people watching a League of Legends championship final a couple of years ago on stream, and only 23 million people watching the deciding game of the World Series baseball, then you know people are taking notice. And mainstream networks are worried, but you can now also understand why the gaming companies want to do everything they can to get in on the esport action. and they start to look into the growing markets like China and India. Now, speaking of India, and especially the mobile gaming market in India, according to 2 white papers which have come out recently, one called Mobile Gaming on the Rise in India and the other one called Applied Games in India, growth in the mobile gaming in India is set to be 58% over the next 5 years, with downloads going from 1.6 billion for 2016 to 5.3 billion by 2020, and all thanks to the wider use of smartphones and the cheaper data throughout India. Now remember, India has a very large population, so for mobile games like Candy Crush and Clash of Clans and so on, the future in India is looking good. And what else is looking good for India is the market for the Indian game developers. You can't have that much growth in a market. All the Indian game developers will have a very big market to make games for. Last but not least, we have the 2024 Olympic bid. Now, the group that's putting the bid together for Los Angeles, called LA 2024, has seen how the 2016 League of Legends Championship final had a sold-out arena of 21,000 people there to watch it. That is 21,000 people paid to come into an arena to watch a big screen and a bunch of people playing a game on the bottom and watching the results from that screen. 21,000 people paid to come in, and there was almost 20 million people who watched it live on stream. And so they have proposed to have esports as part of the 2024 games in LA. Now, they are banking on the declining viewership of the Olympics between the ages of 18 to 49, and that is something the Olympic Committee have noticed themselves. And they also know, that is the people putting the bid together, they know that the average age of the esports viewer is roughly 24 to 27 years old. So in short, the same age group of people who are not watching the Olympics are involved in the same age group of people who are watching esports. Now, their bid is for the 2024 Olympics, and by then, well, who knows how many will be watching esports. If they think there's going to be 500 odd million people watching it by 2020 or 2019, you add another 5 or 6 years onto that, or 5 years onto that. What are you up to? You're up to 700 million, 800 million people watching esports, maybe more, who knows. But whatever the number is, it will only keep growing. Anyway, that's it for this news bulletin. You'll find all the links to the YouTubers mentioned, any of the games, and all the other things that I've mentioned previously. They'll all be in the description below, so you do check them out. I thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please comment to let me know which story you like the most. Please leave a like, leave a thumb up, and subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out on any other news bulletins. And until I see you in the next video, stay frosty.